Hello and welcome back to the channel. Weather's dipped a little bit here, but we've had some good weather, so hey ho. Anyway, I wanted a bigger power bank for our camper van and travels and camping. We already had this small Wamfi power bank, so I ordered a different one which was not too expensive, and here it is in the box. Let's see what we've got. Right, so what we've got is the VTOMAN Jump 600X. Doesn't come with the jump lead starters actually, so here it is in the box. Let's get the box open and hope it's a little bit bigger than that one, but not too huge. I don't want it too huge, just a bit more. So in the box you get the normal sort of stuff, a little friendly tips card, instructions. I'm going to put them in the cardboard box. It's a bit wet today. A load of VTOMAN stickers. Don't quite know where you'd stick them, but who knows. Stickers is stickers. Normal foam. This one seems very well packaged. And here's the unit itself. All the bits. Oh, they got that out. Doing this one-handed. So several white boxes. So we'll see what's in those first. So there'll be various leads, I imagine. Right, first box we've got is the mains plug for power charging. That one is a cigarette charging plug, the USB-C to USB-C, and the USB-A to USB-C, and then in this other box, so that's reasonable plugs, you've got the mains power adapter, which obviously works in conjunction with that. This is a UK plug to charge it up from the mains. Right, so they're the various accessories. Let's look at the unit itself. Right, here we have the unit, side by side with the other little Wamfi one we bought. Actually, weight wise, which is always a judge, yeah, the VTOMAN is heavier, so this is better. The specs on these, sometimes than the cheaper models, you have to take them with a bit of a pinch of salt. Anyway, this particular one has got two AC outlets, one DC cigarette style outlet. This one had one and one. It's got two 12 volt 10 amp outlets, pin styly. The input, which is where you would plug the mains charger, the solar lead if you had one, so you'd have to have the right sort of plug. This has got its own solar charge controller built in, I'm told, but and you can obviously from the cigarette lighter charging. It's got a screen, it's got the outputs, it's got one USB-C, 3 USB-A's, which are 2.4 amp. The USB-C should be higher, and it can take 600 watts output. This is the battery jump starter and the jumper cable. Didn't quite work out why there's two of those. I'll have to understand that. Oh, they're different styly plugs. It's interesting. One's out, one's in, I reckon. Have a look at that. The normal sticker on the screen. What it doesn't seem to have, which is strange, is an on-off switch. I can't work that out, but let's press this one, which is the light. I think that might be the on-off switch. So if I hold it, oh, the light comes into one position. Even stronger, my goodness, that's glary, even stronger. Don't want that, that's drive you mad. I think to switch it off, you go to that. So it doesn't seem to have it off. It must have just an auto power off. That gives you you switch it on, a fan's come on. That shows you the 230 volt outlets, powers them up. Let's switch them off. This obviously switches on the DC for the cigarette light on those two ports, and that's the USB there. So very intuitive. Haven't looked at the instructions at all. I'm going to look at the instructions to see how these do and what these are for. Right, I have learned what this port is for. It's for a backup battery, so you can buy a second battery for this and you can plug it in there. You can charge, as I said, from a solar panel. It's got its own inbuilt solar charge controller. I think it's an MPPT solar charge controller, or you can use that if you've got solar, as I have already on my van, and I've got the solar to a battery which is also plugged into that. I can plug that into the cigarette lighter in the van and either charge it from the alternator or from the solar panel, because the solar panel is feeding those outlets effectively because it's from the battery that's being charged. So let's now plug a few things in and see what we get to go. Before I do that, there is nothing else on the unit at all each side. That's that. That's just a bit of information on underneath here. Absolutely nothing. Some little rubberized feet. This has not got a wireless charger for iPhones or anything like that. But this wasn't expensive. I will check how much I paid, but I think I paid about 300 quid, but I'll have a check. No, I didn't pay anything like that. It was 195 quid. I looked on my Amazon account, so a real bargain really. Still quite a lot of money, but for what you get, it's a good size. It's a sensible weight compared with this one. You know, I think we can use them both in tandem. It's this kind of size we want. We didn't want a huge one because in our motorhomes and camper vans we have batteries set up as well. So let's see what things we can plug into it now. I haven't charged it, and it says it's on 81%, which is how they deliver it. So let's see what we can plug in and see what it would manage. So the first thing you'll notice, which is a bit of a bummer, is that the plugs, if you've got a moulder plug, won't go in that easily if it's sitting flat on something. So let's see if I can actually get it in. No, you can't easily. That's bad. So we'll put it up on something like that to plug it in. So that isn't good, but often you'd have this on a table or something so you could maybe make it work, but not impressed there. So in my world, the most important thing is her GHD hair straighteners. So let's see how they work. Plug them in. This is a 200 job really. Yep, that's not good, is it? So they're plugged in and they're not switched on, so we now switch the AC on. Stuff's working. They've made their noise. These are only meant to be 150 watts, so they should manage this easily. And it says it would do 0.8 hours of that. Well, if it took her 0.8 hours to do her hair, I would be staggered. Right, they are working, so that's okay. I'm okay with that, but that is bad. I'm not happy with that. Maybe you have to fix some sort of little foot on the bottom, don't know. The next thing we're going to try is her indoors little travel hairdryer, which claims to be 1200 watts, and this has got a peak of that, so it will stress this. Interestingly, that will plug in because it's an old style plug with not a great big bottom on it. So let's switch it on and see how that goes. This will stress it. It's not on yet, so if I put it on to 1, 523 watts. Yeah, that's coming out of there. 0.4 of an hour. So that's, what's that? I've now about 24 minutes. So she could certainly dry her hair with that. Not ideal though. Let's put it on to full power and see what happens. It is okay. It's only allowing 600 watts, so if we put it back to half power, yeah, that's okay. That would work. Switch it off, and there is quite warm air coming out of there, so you know you won't get long like that, but it would work. These things are really for emergency and quick use, they're not for big styly use. So that's that, unplug that. That little bit of faffing about, look, has dropped it down to 77.9, 77%. You know, it's only started at 81, that was no time, but Well, what they are. I'm now going to try my DJI Osmo Action 4 controller. You can see the batteries are down. So I'm going to plug that in, all one-handed again. This is using their supplied cable, and switch that on. Unfortunately, you don't see anything on this. Oh, I think I switched it off. So it's on. So it should be charging at the same time. You can see it started to put out 4 watts. I'm going to find a USB-C charger to USB-C and charge my DJI Mini 4 Pro batteries, which will show a bit more information actually by the speed of the flashing lights. So before I plug the USB battery in, you can see that that is charging at 9 watts, which is quite slow, but that'll be okay for batteries like that. You're not in a hurry. So let's plug this in and see how this affects it. So that's just a test. Right, that's a fast charge speed. That is, I'm pleased with that. The faster those lights flash, the faster the battery's charging on those DJI chargers. And we're now doing 45 watts, so we've got 9 from that, so we're charging at about 37 watts. So I reckon that's a 40 watt charger. So that's good. That is quick as far as I'm concerned. Not much else to check really. Quite pleased with it. Certainly worth 195 quid. This weather's really awful, but I am actually going to charge it up via solar just for the hell of it, just to see how it does, and why not. The solar panels are there, so let's give it a go in the van. And interestingly, with these two charging, which will be one of the main uses I use it for, it says it'll charge that at that rate at 5.3 hours from 77%, so that's a long while, pretty good enough. And if you had solar plugged in, you'd be keeping abreast of that. It would keep up with that. Just the disappointment is the height here between that and that. You're plugging in moulded plugs. The older one for you wasn't like that. I had thought of that. So you would have to just wedge it up on something, which is annoying, to be honest. The light also is annoying, but to switch it off, do you just hold it? No, you have to go through its cycle and blow your eyes to bits. But I think certainly 195 quid, well worth it, including delivery, from our good friends at Amazon. One thing is slightly annoying, the input on this one of course is different to the input on that one. Whether or not you can know the actual plug, and they both take 12 to 30 volts, or that one actually takes 36 volts, and that's really for a solar panel, because depending on how your solar panel's set up. But interesting. I'll have a go and see if I can get an adapter for that to that. Sorry, adapter from that to that, just so we could use other cables if we had to. Right, so looking at my charging solar in for the van, it's only 14 watts, but it's that's the solar voltage. So the voltage going to that socket should be about 12.52. Of course, this has got a big leisure battery in it as well. So the effect of it is that it is, so it's charging at 69 watts, and it says it'll be 1.1 hours, I'm guessing, or 1 hour now till it's charged up. So even with this absolutely crap day with next to no solar and it's early in the morning, it is charging up, plugged into my cigarette lighter there, which is connected to my leisure battery. So let's see how long it actually takes. I'll make a note of the time and see how long it actually takes. It's probably charging that from the actual leisure battery, to be honest, but the solar will top all of those up because it's sitting there with the solar on all the time. I've also actually tied my solar to my car battery, which is a good idea. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Quite pleased with it initially, very intuitive, which is the important thing for me. Right, well, that's the VTOMAN, or the VTOMAN Jump 600 X, I think, or is it just the Jump 600? We shall see when we get back, for 195 quid. Thanks for watching. Right, I've come back to the van, and the van is putting out quite a lot, 4.8 amps into the battery. The voltage is at 13.62. It's still charging because obviously we've sucked out some energy from this thing, but this now, if you look, is 100%. So it has charged effectively from that and from the solar which is on the van through the battery, leisure battery on the van. So pleased with that, just what I wanted. Thanks for watching.